Hi folks, we're going to make a quick little pair of earrings today using pearls, citrine, and some brass components. Let's turn down and get to work. So here's what we're going to need. This little tray has the stuff for my second earring. We're going to need an ear wire. We're going to have a bead cage and a small natural pearl to go in it. This is a glass pearl. It's going to go below. Then we have a soldered jump ring, and then hanging from that will be two different dangles, one with a large piece of citrine and a pearl, and one, well actually, and then the other half of this dangle would have this smaller citrine and a little natural pearl, and then we'll make two identical ones. So this is the stuff for the second one, for the second dangle on this side over here, and then we'll attach it to the ring with the by hooking it with the oval jump rings to the soldered larger jump ring. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put this top piece together, and in order to do that you need a ring, an eye pin, and then you're going to open it up with a twisting motion, put the ring on, close it back up. Always twist instead of pulling, because if you pull, you will wreck the ring on this and it will not go back together easily. So then we'll put the glass pearl on. Then this is a little tricky. Okay, we got to find this, and then we got to pull this like this, and then find the hole in your little pearl, and now you have to get it to go back down into that circle by pushing it. It will frequently bend the wire, but that's all right. You can straighten it back up and then back through this hole, and this piece is done. Well, technically it's not quite done. We have to do the loop on the top. You want to make sure your loop is going to go in the right direction, so check that out. And then pull that, wrap this around, let it drop, and you can do this part with either your fingers or your pliers. I noticed mine's a little crooked there, so I tend to use my pliers more than my fingers, just because I think that I can get the wraps a little tighter and cleaner with my pliers. I like to do 4 wraps. Let's see, that bent a bit, but that's all right. We can straighten her back up. And clip the extra wire off and tuck her in. Now if your wire bent while you were working, just check it out and straighten it if needed. Needs a little bit of finessing here. And you can see that piece is finished. Now we need to make the dangles. Okay, to make the dangles, you want to put the first one together, the first piece, which is the big citrine, a spacer, and the glass pearl. Once you have that done, let's make a wire wrap loop. Over and then wrap it around. Now you want to be careful when you're cutting and tucking on with the glass pearl there, because you can pull the coating off. Now let's see if we're straight here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Well, maybe a little crooked. So just straighten her out. The wonders of wire. You can straighten it if you need to. Okay, that's the bottom part of dangle number 1. Now let's do the top part. We need one of these little guys. We're going to hook it onto this wire. Remember, twisting motion. Now we'll put the little smaller piece of oval citrine on here. Now these small citrines have tiny holes, so you might have to finesse it a little bit. Come on, baby. Ooh, bent the wire. Okie dokie, there we go. And yes, it's all right still, good. Then the smaller spacer. And the little pearl. Now we want to do a wire wrapped loop at the top of this little guy. So take your regular pliers, bend it over onto your round nose, bend it again, tighten it up, bring your regular ones in, and do your wire wraps. And cut the excess. Be careful when you're cutting your excess that you keep it so it doesn't snap off, number 1. And number 2, and go flying, I should say. Anyway, number 2, you don't want to cut someplace that wasn't your intention to cut, which I have done a number of times. So then with this one here, we just need to take the oval jump ring and hook it to that one. For that, I use oval jump rings because the split is in the middle here. You can see that. And so because it's on the long side, the items are going to hang on the edges where there is no split, and it makes it a lot safer. So now we'll put this on here. Close her up with the same twisting motion. I like to push on it, make sure it's good and tight. Okay. Now we have the one dangle done, and we will make the second now. Okay, to do the second, we do exactly the same thing as we did originally with the first. Now when you're working with these tiny stones and tiny pearls, a lot of times you'll find that they have very tiny holes. So you have to, you want to test to see if they'll even fit on your wire, number 1. And number 2, once you do have them on the wire, you're going to have to be careful easing them down some, or like I did, you may even have to use your pliers to hold your wire to pull it down with. Don't use the pliers on the stone, however, just on the wire, because the stones are delicate. I mean, they are a stone, but they're still a rather delicate stone. Okay. we go. Let's see how straight we are. Looks pretty good. Like I say, you can take your pliers and wiggle things around if you need to. It doesn't have to be right there. Okay, now for the second half of this one, we need to put in the little piece of citrine. That one went on much easier. Oh, actually, sorry. Let's do our steps properly. We want to open this baby up with a twisting motion and put the bottom piece on, and then close it back up. Now we'll put the citrine on. The spacer and the tiny pearl. Whoop. Come back here, pearl. Now we want to do the loop. Bend it over, change pliers, over the loop, let it slide, get it good and tight, and then wrap. Now that we have with this wrapped, carefully cut it off and tuck her in. Okay, and now we'll hook this second dangle on. Open the jump ring from side to side. Some people call this back to front, but whatever you want to call it, you just need to make sure that you open it with a twisting motion as opposed to a pull. Okay, now we have our two dangles on here, and we'll put on the ear wire. This again is like the other, just a twist, slide it on, twist it back, and there we have the first of our earrings. And now we'll make the second. Okay, let's dump out the stuff for the second earring and separate it out, and let's get to work. Just the one small, this up here, this and this. These two for the bigger pieces. For the smaller. Ear wire. Looks like I have an extra ear wire. Okay, so let's get to work on it. First thing, of course, was to do the top. Now this wire is a little bit thinner than I would normally use for the top. However, we've got that little pearl in there, and it will not go on a bigger wire. go. Now let's form its ring. Oop. Gotta make sure we've got it turned the right way. We want it the other way. Come on, baby. So we want it to run opposite of this one that's down here. So let's get it. There we go. Okay. Trim. Come on, baby. And tuck. Okay, let's see if she's where we want her to be. Yep, perfect. Okay, now we got to do the dangle parts. Okay, so oops, not supposed to drop them. But luckily they're pretty easily put back in place. Trim. And tuck. Looks like this is teeny touch crooked. So when this happens, just take and put your round nose back in. Just roll it a little bit to the side. And there you go. See? Number 2. Up and over. Drop it. Grab your pliers. And around we go. Trim it. Tuck. And it looks like it's going to need straightened. There we go. Now this bead is obviously drilled a little weird, but that's all right because that's the way natural gemstones, they sometimes don't get drilled perfectly. Okay, now we need to go to the second half of the dangle. Okay, here we go. Want to hook the bottom part in first. And put these together. Sometimes the problem with these ones with the tiny holes and going down the wire is that the wire has a slight bend in it, and it sees that really fast. All right, little pearl, where's your hole? There we go. Okay. A lot of these little gemstones are also hand drilled as well as hand cut, so they're not always exactly what you expect them to look like, and you know, in size and shape. And these little top ones are little coin nuggets as opposed to a regular size. Now, if you want your dangles to be two different sizes, you can always remove one of these and just put like the bottom drop in as opposed to both drops. And I may just do that because I like a varying length, and sometimes that makes a little bit more of an interesting look when you only have one really long one and one shorter dangle. So there's that one. And now we just have to put it together. Okay, now to put it together. So we need 2 pair of flat nose. These open up the jump ring. Baby, you gotta stay on. Close that baby up. Do the second. Now we need to put the ear wire on and we're done. There we go. And there's our earrings. Okay, and that's our finished earrings. Now I did take one of the dangles and switched it to just the single and took the smaller one off the top. And I think I like this one better, so I'm probably going to leave it this way and switch the other one. What do you guys think? How's that? This was the other with the double, which I am going to change because I like it better with just the one larger drop, and this the one double length and one single length. But those are our earrings, and I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you the next time. So as you can see, I did decide to take off the little upper dangle on these earrings, and then I took it and I made a second pair of earrings with it by adding just a paddle bead and a gold glass crystal to them. So they're short little ones, but they're very pretty. So anyway, one dangle with a smaller side dangle on these, and then used the extra piece for these earrings. Is that cool? Thanks.